Are you a podcaster? Maybe you've got that big idea and you're looking for a network to join. The multi-award-winning Ozcast Network can get your content to eyes and ears all over the world. Join now for the first month free, and you could be featuring this sound at the beginning of your podcast.
Ozcast.
Simply head to ozcastnetwork.com for details. Representing the men and women on sporting fields across the globe, and especially in Port Adelaide and deep South Australia, two blokes leading the charge that it's okay to be a little bit crap as long as you try hard. It's now time for another Best Team Men podcast.
Well, we're back in the studio, Jarrod, for the first time in, 10 weeks?
It's a great feeling to be back. We are in the Ozcast network.
I'm sure
thank you very much.
The audio is probably a little bit better than the old Zoom.
Yeah, because the Zoom had a bit of delay. I listened to our last episode, and look, it wasn't bad, but we can have a real good conversation now we are back. Thank you very much to Ian. I was going to say Andy and Liam, and I said Ian. Thank you very much to Ian. Thanks for having us. We want to be back in the studio doing this now. And the funny thing was, it was weird listening to our last episode or our last round. We need to start going back to rounds.
Rounds, yeah. Well, we can now.
Yeah, we can. Because we were saying, everything's back. NRL's back tonight.
Yeah.
Our podcast was a week old, so we're going to get better at recording.
That's on me. That was on me.
That's okay, but we've worked out a way that we can record it and upload it because a fair bit has happened over the past couple of days. And it's really weird because, Maddie, we get into recording this podcast and probably 24 hours before, we're like, what are we going to talk about? Because if this is the first time you've listened to Best Team Men, and we've got some key followers like Damien Pratt, who sent me an Instagram today saying he's a number one fan.
Yep.
We've got Daniel Garbage, who left us and
I'm still filthy.
gone on to bigger and better things.
Much
We've
bigger.
got Glenn Aikman from Yatla.
Robbie Armat from Wikipedia.
Robbie Armat. We've got Jamie Mason from Tommy Twines. We've got some key listeners, right? We've got Glenn Hawke, the best ground announcer / MC in Australia, and I would say internationally as well.
That's pretty endorsing coming from you.
Mate, he's a ripper. I love him. And I think that we should be more positive and celebrate the good things people are doing and saying, instead of going, oh, no, he does something similar to me. I don't like him. Nah, he's a ripper. But what was that a fart?
No. It was
what I have noticed is that we pretty much go, oh, wow, there's lots to talk about because we're not a hard-hitting sports podcast.
Not in the slightest.
We have fun.
We have a laugh.
And we start talking sport and it goes off on tangents.
It does absolutely go off on tangents.
Which we love. You asked me before. I've got a Nespresso bag and I bought some pods and it's a great experience, except you know what's really difficult? When you are trying to order Nespresso and the old mate behind the counter, which is now behind Perspex screen, wearing a mouthguard mask, you can't understand what he's saying. So I'm like, can I please have a ristretto? And a lungo is like,
Kenny from South Park.
Ristretto and a lungo.
Ristretto and a lungo sounds like someone that played for the Socceroos.
Garvey's got him on his podcast.
Hey, we were talking last podcast about the NRL's back. Did you catch any of it over the weekend? Yeah,
I watched a little bit, and I love the fake crowd. I think it was well. The cardboard cutouts is quite questionable. However, if it costs $22, you and I need to get a cardboard cutout there.
Yeah.
My only concern is that if it's not on broadcast, how are you going to see that your cardboard cutout is there? Now, we have someone taking a photo of it and saying it's here.
Yep.
I don't know.
I want to touch on the crowd noises. In your opinion, or you might know, are the AFL going to do it?
They're thinking about it.
Right.
And I think they're making it sound so much more complex than it should be. And I don't think they are giving DJs, so someone in your profession, enough respect.
Right.
Because if you had, now we're looking at the Ozcast Network studio now. We've got looks like a what do you call
mixing board.
A mixing board with the pads, the little touch pads.
Yep.
So you can assign a sound. Did you just burp?
Yeah.
So you farted and burped.
I farted.
It's going downhill. So we're looking at eight little pads. So you could assign goal, tackle, mark, like an increase in momentum. You know how the crowd starts lifting?
Yep.
Awesome. You know what to do as a DJ. You know what to do as a sports fan. You could actually do that live.
Could be a role for me there.
That's exactly right. You're like a choreographer or a conductor.
Yeah.
People are saying it's going to be too difficult. Piss off. It's not going to be too difficult.
It won't be too difficult at all. And, mate, I honestly reckon the NRL have taught the AFL a lesson through all this.
Yeah.
They set a date months ago.
Yep.
And they stuck to it. And you know what? It's worked. They've got the crowd noise absolutely down. The only criticism I have of the crowd noise is they've made
Hitler
it sound,
in the crowd? Is
well,
that?
But they've made it sound like there's 30,000 there when they only really get 8 to 10. So
Yeah, and I don't know if I said this to you last week. I think it's if it's a sport you're not really passionate about, then you kind of don't notice it.
No.
So it's like I don't love NRL.
No.
So I just watch the game and I hear the crowd. Awesome. With soccer, it works really well. With footy, we know what it's like and how shit
that's
round
true.
one was.
Yeah.
So we're going to be picking it apart. But they're going to try their best. We should say as well, we've just started this podcast, which is great. This round, stick around for the end because we are going to commentate. We've been talking about this for so long.
A long time, yeah.
We're going to have a crack and we're going to do this each round. It's brilliant and I'm really looking forward to it. We've done no preparation. You've done a fair bit, but we've just got to rely on the fact that we know the players.
That's right.
It's going to be fun. We're hopefully going to be not too shit at it, but the plan is for us to get better. And this is a journey that we are going to go on together. And I'm really excited about it.
And if you go back to our very first podcast,
Yeah, welcome everybody. This is a podcast.
the proof's in the pudding that you do get a lot better the more that you do. So
Yeah.
I'm hoping that with the commentary, it follows a similar path. So
Yeah, that's exactly right. Let's get into the stuff that we have to talk about. There's a fair bit going on at the
now
moment.
there's a lot going on with you at the moment. I feel
Yeah.
like you need to be unleashed here.
Okay, where do you want me to start?
I want you to start from the start.
Okay. Oh, gosh. Do you want me to start with the beef which has kind of just happened, or do you want me to talk about the man who has the most swag in Adelaide who's followed up with a question? And it's
Start with the beef.
all right, let's start with
Finish
the beef.
swag.
Okay, so Twitter, and I said at the start of this COVID-19 thing that social media and coronavirus brings out the best and worst in people. I've changed my mind. This is bringing out the worst and the worst in people,
Absolutely.
especially via Twitter, which is becoming more and more toxic. Two things I need to say before going onto my little bit of a rant. First thing, I'm active on Twitter. I look at it all the time, right? So I'm active on it. So obviously, if I hated it that much, I wouldn't be on it. Simple as that. Second thing is, it's really good as an educational and newsworthy source when it's credible and accurate and taken in the right way.
Yeah.
The thing I get fixated on is some people use Twitter to their advantage, and I think that sometimes that can be a good thing. However, there's a couple of people who use Twitter, and if people don't agree with them, they bag them, and I don't like that. You know, mate, I'm very vanilla as a person. I question everything that I put on Twitter because I'm afraid of the blowback that I'll get. So some people might think, hey, Jarrod, you are a bit boring because you don't put yourself out there to have a strong opinion on things because I'm worried about what people say. Mate, I said that Port Adelaide should wear their prison bar, Guernsey, as a warm-up top.
Yeah, that was
for
it.
the rest
You
of the
didn't-
season.
Yeah, yep.
The only reason I said that is because they're not going to wear it this year apart from Showdown.
Yep.
Why not show the black and white? Because there's no Magpies this year. There's no bad intention or anything. A couple of people smashed me on Twitter for it. I wasn't asking for that. So
No.
I just think, well, what do you want me to say?
Yeah.
Some people are really forthcoming with their opinions as well, and
Well,
they're prepared to cop the blowback.
Well, they are, but they can they rather that online confrontation far greater than a personal, face-to-face confrontation.
We don't realise the impact that social media has when people are mean to one another. And I think I've told you the example of this before. There was a woman who was big on the social scene, big in fashion. Her name was Charlotte Dawson. And a few years ago, she was smashed on Twitter and my name was included in the tweets. And I direct messaged her and said, I've got nothing to do with this. And she said, that's totally fine. A couple of Adelaide boys, and I've blocked them on Twitter, just smashed her. A couple of days later, she took her life, mate. And
Horrible.
we don't understand the impact that little words have on Twitter, no matter the context or anything like that. And if people say, oh, it's only Twitter, it's not real life, piss off.
It is, yeah.
That is such a cop-out and it is bullshit.
Yep.
So I wanted to bring you up to speed of how I got involved in this because sometimes I shouldn't get involved in things, but other times I'm like, no, I got bullied all the way through primary school. Like these pricks that I went to in primary school, you know those rulers that had like the metal thing inside the ruler so you could do your margins?
Yep.
They whacked me on the back of the legs with that consistently.
So that's not bullying. That's physical abuse in the end.
Mate, it was horrific. So let me talk you to the beef which I kind of stepped into. Now, this was between Michelle Stevenson, who is the boss of the newsroom for Nova Entertainment, so the national newsroom. Australia-wide, mate. Gotcha. She's a ripper, and she's got a very good reputation. She's very active on social media. And this is also between her and Peter Ford, whose Twitter bio says the best and most widely heard entertainment reporter in Australia and New Zealand, allegedly. So, he's recently added allegedly, so that's okay.
Hang on, has he just done a Robbie Armatt? He's self-proclaimed.
He has. Retweet doesn't necessarily mean I agree, just that I think it's interesting. Okay, so I've joined the conversation when Michelle started saying, this isn't very nice. And they were having a conversation in regards to Piers Morgan, right? Okay. So Piers Morgan has tweeted something about the Black Lives Matter instance. Yep. And it says, horrendous scenes all over America, fully justified protests at the despicable police killing of George Floyd, now devolving into widespread looting, chaos, rioting, and anarchy. There's been nothing like this since the reaction to the assassination of Martin Luther King in 1968. Very worrying. Now, Piers Morgan's quite inflammatory on social media. Yep. Peter Ford has responded saying, and total silence from celebrities, including black ones, whose voices may be listened to with a simple message of don't be violent. Silence on that score from the Obamas too. The super rich black celebrities have no interest in real people in the suburbs. That is a massive accusation, first of all, right? So then Michelle responded with Michelle Obama, Killer Mike, who was amazing in what he said, and Oprah have all spoken out. And then Peter said, with respect, Michelle, they have all spoken about specifically Mr. Floyd's death. That's a no-brainer, and nobody would disagree with that. But where are all the calls to no violence and not to burn down buildings? Truth is, they fear it could damage their fan base. So they've basically gone back and forth. Michelle said, that's bullshit. If you not watched Killer Mike, and he said, no, Killer Mike's not A-list. Michelle says, not A-list. You actually read what you tweet. He's very well-known, respected activist and rapper. And then he said, totally happy to accept he may be a bigger star than I thought. It's my mistake. You clearly can't name one other celebrity. Far out. They're going back and forth, right?
Yeah.
So eventually it gets to the point where Michelle says, I find the majority of your tweets asinine. Can you Google that right now?
Okay, spell it.
Asane. I'm exposing my lack of the English language here, but I think it indicates it's another word for being a bit silly. What does it say? Oh, no.
I don't think I spelled it right.
Great.
What is it?
Asane.
Okay. Gotcha. Extremely stupid or foolish.
Okay, so she's gone, you're being silly and foolish.
Yep.
She's indicated, from your perspective at this point, Matt, talk to me where we're at right now.
We're at Mr.
Ford.
Yeah, Mr.
Harrison's
Ford.
brother.
I was going to call him a poor man's Dickie Wilkins, but...
No, you can't. No, so, now I'm going to stop you there because we need to be better than this.
No, you're right.
And I've only had, which I'll get to, direct message exchanges.
Yes.
He's been nice to me, so let's not do anything which could get us in.
I apologise for that one.
Thank you.
Yeah,
so you have to now say, I formally retract
retract that accusation.
Great. All right. So continue.
Okay. So, look, at the moment, it literally just looks like someone's made an outlandish comment, someone's pulled them up with some facts, and they haven't liked it.
Great. I'm glad you said that. So after Michelle said your tweets are whatever that word is, so this is
asinine.
Where is it asinine?
I have no idea. It's how it looks.
Because I probably thought of you more as a 10. Hey, it's a compliment, mate.
I rate that.
Okay.
Well done.
So, anyway, kids, we're playing today against the Wanderers. Now, Matty, I want you as a 9. Score some goals. Okay, now, I find the majority of your tweets, whatever the word is, so this is where we part ways, and I give you an unfollow. It's been nice chatting.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Fair enough.
Hey,
That's
you know what?
diplomatic.
We had a robust discussion.
Yep.
I said I find most of your tweets pretty silly.
Yep.
So, this is the response which has got me involved.
Okay.
And I quote, "Don't be a bitch, Michelle. You're better than that. You choose to follow me. We simply disagreed.
So that's what Mr. Ford has written to Michelle.
The thing which infuriated me was don't be a bitch.
Yeah.
Now, I might be sensitive. That some people may accuse me of being sensitive, but I'm going to call that out straight away because A, she's a friend of mine. Great. But you know what? That's when you lose the argument.
Yeah.
He deleted it straight away. She screenshot it.
Yeah.
So then she put it up.
And
I'm
him
like,
deleting that's him admitting fault.
well, it's one of those things where it's like, you saw it. I've deleted it in time. Nobody else can see it.
Yeah.
But you have, so
Yeah.
you can deal with it. Yeah. So that's when I got involved. And I'm like, nah, mate, this is very poor from you. You got involved, which I loved. And then Pete started DMing me and going back and forth about like saying it's Twitter, like she's got to deal with it. It's Twitter, not the United Nations. And I said, like, you are a respected reporter, okay? This man is on several television networks and radio shows every day. He's got a platform where so many people look. Whether he likes it or not, he influences people in their opinion. You called her a bitch. That is a weak moment, but as much as it's Twitter, it's almighty powerful how words can affect people. No matter the exchange they had, she didn't call him a dick.
No.
She said, your tweets are this. And he said, you are a bitch.
Yeah.
So we had a bit of an exchange. And then last night I've promoted the podcast and I've tagged him in.
Yeah.
And he's DM'd me again. So I think he was concerned that I was going to go to town on him. I also think Peter Ford assumed that this podcast was a massively listened to news-breaking podcast where...
He's so wrong.
I mean, that is definitely inaccurate, Peter.
So inaccurate. But hey, if you feel like it, we've told the whole story. Can you give us a retweet?
Yeah, exactly. And I kind of ended it by saying, Peter, we are not a news-breaking podcast. We usually speak about the absolute tyranny of the Robert Armat and the case of the Goal of the Year scandal. And
Do you reckon he knew what that would
no,
mean?
it went over his head.
No.
No idea.
Went over his head like a...
But Peter, if you're listening, you need to investigate that, mate. And tomorrow morning when I see you on the morning show with Larry and Kylie, I need you to investigate Robert Armat.
Yes. And his Goal of the Year, or his so-called Goal of the Year.
So-called Goal of the Year.
So
I tell you
cool.
what, mate, that's just... I look at these tweets and I go... People are just abusing one another at the moment. We don't understand the impact that it has. There are so many fuckwits on Twitter, and I like the fact that I'm not overly opinionated in some things, but I also feel like I said, I got bullied at school. I'm going to call it out.
Absolutely.
If someone has a problem with me calling out the fact that they called someone a bitch, mate, deal with it.
The ones that absolutely do me are there's a cartoon photo as their DP and nothing to do with their real name, and 12 people follow them. And they can literally go out there and say what they want to people when they want, and it can have absolutely no blowback to them as a person.
I know. It's just, it's depressing, mate, and it happens all the time. That's why I do feel for the journalists a lot of the time that are trying to have a crack. I mean, they put themselves out there, but there'd be so many people, well, just bring them down. Like, can you imagine a moment? We talk about Tom Brown a lot. There could be a moment where Tom Brown gets to a point where he has so much coming his way that he's, I'm going to quit, and it causes him mental problems. Yeah. Do you think anyone has remorse that how they've acted towards that has caused that? Not at all, mate. They couldn't give a fuck.
Nah.
That's what Twitter does. Because I think about people who... I just think how exhausting it would be, and I look at how frequently these people tweet, like Rita Panahi, who is so polarizing, and I completely disagree with everything she says and should abuse me for it. She's got 200,000 followers. She tweets every couple of, 15 minutes.
Yeah.
What happens when Twitter doesn't exist anymore?
Well, she loses her platform.
Exactly. And then what? Am I boring you?
No, I'm trying to get up. I'm on my phone, but I'm trying to get up something that relates to this.
Yeah.
So
I just think there's going to be a day when Twitter doesn't exist.
I'm just sitting here on Facebook.
Yeah, man. It's so frustrating, and it's really, really depressing, I think. And the hard thing is, at the moment, there's a lot of credible stuff floating around about what's going on with all of these riots, and there's a lot of interesting information.
There is.
But it's saturated with a lot of bullshit as well.
Well, I had to remove... I didn't have to. I chose to remove Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook apps off my phone.
Yep.
Just because everywhere you turned, There was just something so negative, and it got to me. It ended up getting to me in the end, and I just didn't want to look at it anymore. Like, I really, really, really hate with everything that's happened in the last week and a half.
Yeah.
Can't stand it. But it got to a point where it was making my life completely miserable.
Yeah.
Like,
And is that part of your routine as well? The first thing you do, you wake up in the morning, you would check everything.
Oh, you do. Absolutely.
Yeah.
What have I missed?
Do you find that, like, during this break, I've looked at my Instagram and I've unfollowed a shitload of people because I'm like, I was following people as a sign of friendship.
Yeah.
And then if there was an
beyond that,
unfollow, I'm like, maybe not. But then I'm looking going, wait a sec, I don't know you and I'm not interested in your photos.
Your life.
I'm just going to unfollow you because you don't give a shit about me.
No.
So
No.
what are we doing here?
Yeah, exactly. I feel like, the mute button on Instagram's been a godsend.
I think I've been muted by so many people because I put up lots of shit.
You do put up lots of shit.
So much shit.
Nah, I don't mind your work.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's okay.
You're an underrated tweeter. I'm an underrated Instagrammer.
Hey,
Yeah.
we've got a question from your mate, Sam Tugwell.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, do you want to tell everyone who he is and what he does?
Sam Tugwell is a producer on the 5AA Sports Show. And wait, tell me when you want me to be serious here.
No, I don't ever want you to be serious. So.
Okay, well, there is an element of seriousness about this. So he's a producer on Rowie and Bix. He commentates for the Cricket Network. He does AFL Sandful stuff. He also works on the podcast The Press Box. You can follow them at Pressbox EP. He does it alongside Jace Taylor, Sean Kemp, and Dale Dustin Fletcher.
Dusty.
Yeah.
And
so
they are a much more serious, structured podcast than we are.
yeah, they are. And the other thing about them, and
Have you seen that meme where it says my expectations for 2020 and my reality?
Yeah.
Yeah, they would be the expectations and we would be the reality.
That's very true. Let me talk about Tuggers seriously for a second because even though tell you what, mate, he gives Basil Zemplis a run for his money with the size of his conch. He does. I mean,
Big snorkel.
Tuggers could be over the other side of the world and he could smell what I'm having for dinner still in Peterhead. But he is going to be, what's the date today? Thursday, the 4th of June, 2020.
Yep.
Even it depends when we upload this. Tuggers is going to be the next big name media personality when it comes to commentating or sports journo in Adelaide, if not Australia. He's an absolute jet.
Bigger than Rennie.
Sean Wren.
Tom.
Bigger than Tom Wren.
Okay.
Mate, he's a ripper. And
In stature as well. Tom's only a short fella.
Tuggers' nose is as big as Tom Wren. I'm trying to be serious here.
Yeah, I know.
I reckon and I just spoke about it before when talking about Glenn Hawke. The media is full of people with chips on their shoulders, right? And just they're so concerned about what others are thinking if someone breaks a story instead of them. I mentioned on the radio a couple of weeks ago, Mark Bickley, when you broke this story, and I was referring to when you broke it to our audience, got a text that night from a radio personality saying, I'm pretty sure I broke the story. And I'm like, just relax. Who cares? And I know there's pressure from news organisations and things like that, but I am a person that should give props to people in the industry that do a great job. I'm not, someone's going to take over from me one day. Good on them. Good luck to them. I think it's great. If I'm at an event and someone's emceeing, I'm not going to think how shit they are. I'm going to look and go, you are really good. And I'll go tell them.
Yeah.
The Press Box podcast is a really good one. I really like it. And I think that Sam, Jace and Dale do a really good job. I think that they know what they're talking about and they've got their area which they focus on. And I think that there's room in Adelaide where eventually that could be a radio show. Yep. No doubt about it. I think it's really good. And I think Tuggers especially is incredible.
Yep.
Like, I'm very fortunate to work with him. His knowledge of sport is outstanding. His sense of smell is ridiculously good. But he's brilliant. But I did notice during the week that Sam Tugwell, he also has a surname which relates to one of his skills.
Jeez, you've absolutely pasted him in.
No, but I'm just. There's lots of compliments.
I like it. Yeah, I like it. You're obviously good enough mates that
I just see a massive future in him and a massive nose.
You set that up, didn't you?
No, he's brilliant. So he had a fair bit of swag because Sam and the team on the press box during the week picked up on another podcast, which is Bungie and the Brettster, which is the Andrew McLeod and Brett Maher podcast.
Okay.
That Andrew doesn't feel welcomed back at the Adelaide Crows. So it's like, I don't have the quote. We don't need to play it. Andrew McLeod doesn't like me very much, so we don't need to have that discussion here.
I think we do.
So Tuggers and the team have put that. They've like packaged it together with an image of Andrew,
Right.
and the audio
Yeah.
from them commenting on the Bungie and Brettster podcast.
Gotcha.
This blew up on Tuesday.
Right.
Like this went around Australia, and people are still talking about it.
Right.
The Press Box podcast was back page of the paper yesterday alongside the story about Andrew McLeod.
There you go.
The funniest thing about it is the Bungie and Brettster podcast, and I'm sure that there was a moment where it's a new podcast, they're looking to get some listens and clicks. That didn't really get the promotion out of it.
No.
The Press Box did
Got it.
for using a grab from the other podcast.
Podception.
It is Podception. So Tuggers has pretty much been walking around Adelaide signing autographs, basically seeing how many people he can shove up his nose as possible.
He's real.
And it's
So have you spoken to him since then?
no. You have to go through his manager now.
Oh,
it's
so-
ridiculous. No,
so he's pretty happy with himself.
I think he's pretty happy with himself, but they were just commenting on it, and it was a big story. And I wanted to say, to finish off the Tuggers thing, the funniest call, and hopefully he was not going to listen to the podcast, who cares? So we were talking about people being not made to feel welcomed back at their club. Yep. Talking about Andrew McLeod, over 300 games, 2 Norm Smiths, numerous All-Australians, best and fairest and things like that.
Yep.
We had a caller on our sports show.
Last night.
Tuesday night. And he's rung up just to express that he exactly understands how Andrew McLeod feels. This guy played under-19s for Norwood, and he came second in the under-19s best and fairest. And he said, whenever I go back to the club, I don't really get, the treatment that I deserve. He's compared himself to Andrew McLeod, and he's played under-19s at Norwood. You think about Gary McIntosh and Nathan Bassett, who's won all those flags.
The Ashes and, there's a bit going on there.
He's the second in the best and fairest in the under-19s. And he's like, they don't make me feel welcome.
Oh, no. That's living in your own world, isn't it?
It's living in your own world, mate. So well done to the Press Box. I think it's a big story in Adelaide. But it's Adelaide though, mate.
It is Adelaide.
Yeah.
Good on him.
Are you wanting to ask me something? You're staring at me like you want to ask me
No,
something.
well, Sam's he's tweeted in a question.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so...
I thought you were going to ask me to talk about why I'm disliked by Andrew McLeod.
No. We'll get to that another time. But no, Sam asked how you handle large amounts of publicity and also whether you sleep with the key to the city. Now, from what you've just told me, I think he's asking that retrospectively. Like he's asking that about himself.
I think what Sam is doing is he's trying to be a smart ass because he's trying to, and he loves his cricket. What he's trying to do is I've bowled a beam ball at him,
right,
and he's tried to deflect it into the stands to put the focus on to how poor my delivery was instead of realising that he's not completely padded up.
Right.
And I don't have any keys to any city.
No.
I broke the key to my front door in the lock a couple of weeks ago.
Trying to get bacon and eggs into your house.
That's exactly right. But it was not bad. I refuse to answer that question, you prick. Yeah.
No, very good. Very
No,
good.
it was an interesting story. It's just sometimes, as you said when you were doing your angry tweets the other day, we just need footy to get back so we can stop doing. And
we're a week out. We're a week away.
Everybody's got a podcast.
We're a week away from footy.
I know,
and it cannot come soon enough.
Yeah, but that's great. But we don't really talk sport.
No.
Oh, we like a little bit. We do.
Yeah, we touch on it, but then it sort of goes off into different,
He also said, Tuggers, that he was listening to our podcast because he's a big fan, which is great because we've got about 5 now.
Yep.
And when I told that story about that chick who I bought hot chips from at Amy Stadium, he was driving past Amy Stadium at the time, which is brilliant. Her name was Kerry. Did I say that? I reckon it's Kerry.
I don't reckon you did.
Yeah.
But Kerry, if you're listening, thanks for making.
She'll be in prison as well,
I reckon. She's with Glen Aikman in Yatla.
What's going on with you? I've spoken so much about this, but I think we've covered a fair bit of stuff.
Yeah, we have. Yep. No, there's nothing going on with me.
Yeah, great. All right. Well, thanks for being here.
No, I'm very keen for footy to come back. It was great. Like I said, I think I posted on Facebook that I'll never say this again, and I've never had said it, but thank God for NRL.
Yeah.
I did sit down.
Who's your team now?
Well, I lived in Canberra for a year, so I'm going to jump on the Raiders.
Yeah, okay.
They were crap for a long time, and now they're going okay.
Where do they play?
At Bruce Stadium, in basically where the Institute of Sport is.
Is that where the soccer is played? Is that GIO Stadium?
No, I don't. Oh, it might be called that now. It's where the Brumbies play. They share
Bruce Stadium.
Bruce. What's in the suburb is called Bruce. So,
Bruce.
So Amy Stadium's at West Lakes.
Yeah.
And, Bruce. So,
what are you doing at the moment, Matty? I'm just in Bruce.
I'm in Bruce. Yeah.
What do you mean by that?
But where are you?
Talk us through this commentary, how we've got here and what we're going to do.
So for a long time, we've sort of thrown up the idea of wanting to call a game of footy, and it's something that we're going to look at doing now that footy's returning. So we thought, why not give it a crack with an older game? So an older yet new game, because we both want to know the players, and we thought the best way to do it was call a Port and Collingwood game.
Yep.
So you're across them and I'm across the Pies, and look, we tried to find one that was a good game, but there hasn't been a great game between the two in the last sort of 5 years. So we've gone back to round 22, 2018, a cold and very miserable day at the G.
I remember where I was. I was
there.
Oh, really?
It was my birthday. It was actually my birthday.
Oh.
Yeah. So
I was in Tasmania in a town called Swansea, and
isn't that in Wales? No,
I was in a town. I was in Wales in a town called Swansea. No, I was in Bruce, and then I kissed him. So it was on the TV, and that's it.
That's pretty much it. Yeah. So we're just going to have a crack at calling the last quarter in sort of our style, I guess you could call it.
Yeah, and the challenge is, because this is the first time we've both done this, and I'll be honest with you, the only other time that I've ever done any commentary or practice commentary was I did a video for year 12.
Right.
And I remember sitting in my pajamas, and I was next to a mate. We had to do like a creative video, and the video idea I had was I'm going to film all the things that I was going to do for the video.
Yep.
And I just sat there commentating for like 5 minutes.
Right.
That is literally the only commentary I've ever done in my life. And like my family, like through my dad, is commentated for 30 or 40 years. So I've always stayed away from it because I don't have anything to do with my dad. So I like kind of.
Is it something that you want to look at doing?
I think it's naturally part of how I've grown up. Yep. I used to sit there, and my dad kept all the books that he had. So he'd write down all the numbers of the players, and I'd test him. So I'm pretty good with that.
Sure.
And I listen intently to all different types of commentators, which I think is going to be our probably biggest challenge, because you always adapt everybody else's style. So it's going to take a while to try and find your groove. But I also think there's room to do it, like now especially, whatever that leads into. I think, why not?
Yeah, for sure. Oh,
did you burp again?
That was you.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
2 from 2.
So what are we going to do? Are we going to keep recording or press stop and record again?
No, so we're going to record. We'll record through, and we'll just edit it from here and start.
Okay, so what, you're going to move your laptop around?
I'm going to move my laptop so we can both watch the game.
Okay, so for the people listening, this could be the worst thing you've ever heard.
Which would make it the greatest thing you've ever heard.
Yeah, who cares? We're going to have some fun with it. If you're turning off now, we'll see you next episode. But this is us going to have a crack at commentate. There's going to be heaps of mistakes, but we're just trying stuff, and we are open to feedback as well, because the people who listen to this like sport, so give us some feedback. Let's have some fun. Geez, I'm actually nervous.
Nah, let's just do it.
Okay, let's just do it, mate. Let's just do it. How do people follow us on the socials?
At Best Team Men on Twitter and Facebook. Oh, I stuttered then. And Facebook.com.
It's a good start to commentary. Get that out of the system now, mate.
Facebook.com/Best Team Men.
Okay.
Welcome back to Best Team Men, thanks to the Ozcast Network. Don't forget, for all your podcasts and advertising/podvertising needs, Andy and Liam at the Ozcast Network have been unbelievable to us at Best Team Men, so massive thanks to them. Jarrod, we're about to tuck into the last quarter here.
Yeah, this is going to be brilliant. We are about to get into the commentary. MCG, round 22, 2018. Collingwood taking on Port Adelaide. Collingwood currently leading 10-11-71 against the Power 9-4-58. It is Collingwood by 13 points. How you feeling at the moment, Matty?
Yeah, good. There's a top 4 spot on the line for the Pies here, and I reckon Port are just hanging on to a spot in the finals.
All right, siren sounds. Umpire Baldy puts his arm in the air. It's Grundy taking on Paddy Ryder. Ryder gets the tap. It looks like to go. No, it's really hard to call off the TV when you think about it. Oh, there he is, Chris Mayne. Handballs over to, who's that bloke?
Big Cox takes a mark 70 metres out down the city end. He's going to pump it in long, looking for Myercheck. Myercheck can't mark. Falls to what's his name?
Jarrod Pollock gets it on the left foot, and just a short chip. Port Adelaide slowing it down now. It looks like Robbie Gray there. You can tell it's him because he moves around very quickly, bobs it in the air, contested mark up for grabs. No, it's Motlop. Motlop with the handball in the middle of the MCG. Travis Boak with the tap. Ollie Wines kicks it inside 50. A chance for Port Adelaide here. Is it Rockcliffe? It's one-on-one with Maynard. No dramas right there, Jack Watts. Handball's back to Rockcliffe. Do we have a Port Adelaide goal? Pushed to the ground by Maynard. What a head, and we got a ball up in the goal square for Port Adelaide.
Tell you what, that was great by Maynard. He didn't leave his man at all and forced a stoppage 10 metres out from the Port goal.
Got a real feeling that Maynard might stuff it up.
He's got a free kick.
What was that for?
I don't know about that one. It looked like a ball up, but Maynard's going to take it. He's going to pump it deep outside 50. Looking for De Goey. It's going to fall short. Pendlebury takes the mark. Defensive 50. He's going to look inside. Nothing on. No, it's not. It's Greenwood.
We are really good calling off the TV.
It's hard to see this.
Jack Homsch takes the defensive mark on the centre wing for the Port Adelaide Football Club. A must-win game if they want to make finals in 2018. Got a really good feeling about the Collingwood Football Club as well. Who knows what will happen if they go all the way in September. May lose to the West Coast Eagles, but we'll find out later on. It looks like Collingwood with the ball. Now Taylor Adams, their number 13, kicks it into the middle.
He's hacked it forward. Phillips is there, makes a contest. Brody Grundy playing a rover. Gets it down to Chris. Chris handballs out. Goes inside to Aish. Aish running through the middle of the ground. Handballs forward to De Goey. Gives it to Phillips. Phillips 50 out. Has a shot at goal. Side bottom will mark this. And he has. He's marked it in the goal square for the Pies.
Looks too easy for Collingwood at the moment.
Well, they're 13 points up. Side bottom, put your glasses down. He's going to kick this from about 7 metres out right in front in the goal square. So you'd assume he's going to put them 19 points up very, very early on in the last quarter, Jarrod.
Don't have glasses, so I'm just going to watch this. Side bottom looks like he's starting to lose his hair, and we both know what that feels like.
Absolutely. He's joining a very illustrious group, and he's put it through for a goal.
Very handy goal for the Collingwood Football Club. As you said, go up by 19 points. Port Adelaide need to kick the next one if they want a chance to stay in the game. But talk us through that. It looked too easy, and it all started with Taylor Adams.
It did. It was Adams in the middle. Look at Grundy there, forcing a front and centre. Then they just flicked it out and they just spread. Look at them spread. There's 4 or 5 different options. Gets it onto De Goey. De Goey just flicks an easy one to Phillips, and side bottom's basically in the goal square by himself. So, look, not great defensive setup by Port.
No.
It's probably going to cost him.
Well, pretty poor from Jack Homsch. If I was Port Adelaide, I'd trade him to the Gold Coast at the end of the year. Who knows? That may, in fact, happen. All right, look at those inside 50s as well. Collingwood leading 40-33. We are 3.5 minutes into the final quarter here at the MCG. Ball up. Grundy gets it out again. Remarkable game so far. One-on-one here. Port Adelaide again picks it up. Who's got the long sleeves on? Jasper Pittard.
Pittard, he's back.
Dances around. Comes off the right foot. Going into the forward 50 for Port Adelaide. Great
Langdon.
Defensive mark there. Tommy Langdon. Brilliant stuff, and he'll take a breather.
He's having a bit to say to Rockcliffe, isn't he? He's going to switch play. He's going to come across to the MCC side, finds Maynard. Maynard on his left foot's going to clear defensive 50 to Main. It all just looks a bit too easy for Collingwood. Main's going to go down the line, and we've got, who's that? De Goey. De Goey down centre wing. He's going to take his time. He's going to pump it long towards 50. Big Cox is there. No, 3-on-1. Can't take the mark. Side bottom Robes.
Dan Houston gets it. It looks like Darcy Burn-Jones, DBJ player, couldn't carry it, and that was Jarrod Pollock. We'll have a throw in. Collingwood doing it really easy at the moment, and now I've worked out why you've picked these highlights, Matty, because Collingwood definitely going to win this game.
Hey, I don't know if Pollock's going to be there next year.
No, not sure. I've got a feeling that North Melbourne will come with a really big deal for him.
Absolutely.
Boundary umpire throws it in. Grundy again.
Too easy.
Brilliant.
Pendlebury pumps it inside 50, looking for Cox again, makes a contest. Myercheck's there, can't find it. Sam Gray's there, he gets the handball received, kicks it outside. Oh, it's touched by Adams. Westhoff gathers in the back pocket, handballs off, and beautiful stuff. Josh Thomas there intercepts, handballs off to Pendlebury. Pendlebury weaves through traffic, he's caught. Ollie Wines can't hold the tackle. Pendlebury gets a handball away. Stevenson, he's there, he's tackled, he's bashed into the ground, and it's going to roll out of bounds. Oh, and Taylor Adams has got
There's a free kick.
Oh.
Taylor Adams has given one away, and
Probably could have got one.
He could have. Well, Wingard's ended up with the free kick, but he got one as well. Chad Wingard with the long sleeves. And what do you think about the long sleeves with the wide away top?
Yeah, it makes him look very pale.
Okay, fantastic. Good feedback there. Matty Burgess' Ryder gets the tap in there. Looks like it's picked up. Who's 26 for Collingwood? No idea. Who's 44?
Imagine.
Don't even know either.
Imagine pumps inside 50 to go away. Taylor Adams takes him. We have to say it is so hard to see it on this. Oh, that's a push in the back.
Should be
for
a
sure.
free kick. Darcy Bergeron's right in the back.
Jeez, I got up. I thought it was to goey. I've never seen Taylor Adams jump that high. It is hard. Look, we have to say we are watching this on a computer screen.
It's very
moment.
small,
it's
but
a 13-inch iMac. So
I'm impressed with how we've gone so far.
yeah, it's not too bad. Look, so Taylor Adams, he dumped.
Have we got crowd noise with this?
We will. Yes.
Okay, great. We need to get a highlighter. De Goey!
Yeah, I know. No, we'll get that up. Anyway, Adams has got a free kick. He's probably 40 out, slight angle. He's not the greatest set shot for goal, but we'll see if he can put the Pies further in front, and he's missed it. He's hit it skinny. 1 point to Collingwood. They go to 78. Port Adelaide 58.
Been a great quarter for Taylor Adams, though. He's been brilliant since he arrived at the Collingwood Football Club. Jasper Pittard will kick it out. Long sleeves again. It must be freezing at the MCG today. Kicks it to himself on the left foot. Just a chip pass. He bobs it up, and that's a horrible kick from Pittard. Levi Greenwood gets it. He goes more central, and Collingwood again will get another inside 50. This time it looks like Crisp. He's going to go in. Short kick, and there's Big Cox. Mace, this is too easy for Collingwood at the moment. Port Adelaide are messing around with it, and they can't afford to do that right now. Paddy Ryder isn't happy, may walk out on the club and join St Kilda.
How do you defend someone like Cox? He's 6'10", 6'11". He's got long reach, and there's just no one to go with him. Once they put the ball into space and a bit of air, let him run into it and jump into it, there's no stopping him.
It's a really disappointing moment for Port Adelaide because Pittard could have bombed it out longer, tried to look for a player as Cox walks in. Distance won't be a problem, and it looks like he's kicked the goal.
Well, they're in complete control now, Collingwood. They've blown this out to 26 points. It was 13 at the break. A couple of quick goals to Sidebottom and also Cox. And a miss to Adams, so it could be a lot worse.
Did Port Adelaide kick a goal in this quarter?
I hope so.
Yeah, same, because otherwise there's no point me being here.
Hey, good footy, good use by Crisp as well to just wait. He just held on to it, found the option inside 50 of Cox on the lead, and he hit him up beautifully.
Look at all the fans at the MCG as well. I mean, brilliant to see so many people there. We will never have a time where sport has no fans, so it's just brilliant, isn't it?
No, absolutely. The noise is absolutely electric here at the moment.
Oh, have a listen to him. Oh, wait, there's a duck.
See, there we go. So look at the height difference there. Honch on Cox.
Yeah.
He's giving away a lot of height. You can't really ask much more.
Collingwood leading by a fair bit at the moment. Grody once again gets the ball, but it looks like there's a little pack in the middle. There's Crisp again. Handball out off the right hand. Looks at De Goey. Handball. Side bottom
to Madgen. Madgen flicks it out wide to Aish. Aish marks centre wing. He's got Main on if he wants to use him. Decides to now. Main will take a mark. Real true centre wing on the outer side for Collingwood. Looking down. They're just playing that short chip game. Oh, he goes to Crisp, who probably almost could have got a 50, but he didn't. Burn-Jones gave him a bit of a whack. Crisp's going to pump it long inside 50. Another inside 50. Oh, it might just fall short, and Ryder takes a nice defensive mark.
Very nice work for Paddy Ryder. Port Adelaide need to straighten up here and make the most of their possessions because they've been very sloppy in the last quarter, and finally they have an uncontested mark, and that looks like Jarrod Leanett, who's on the wing here at the MCG. No one to go to, though, so they're chipping short. He's gone back to Jasper Pittard. He's gone played on. This is going to be holding the ball.
Varco picks it up. Varco flicks inside to Josh Thomas. Josh Thomas gives it off to Crisp. 50 metres out. Pumps for goal. De Goey's there. Oh, De Goey too good. He's taken a mark. One-hander in the goal square, and it's been paid.
Again, Port Adelaide mistakes costing them. The last 3 Collingwood goals, all from Port Adelaide mistakes. And now De Goey should get this and then put Collingwood up by, what would that be?
That'd be
90 to 58, like 32 points.
32 points. Has he held this? I don't know if he's held this mark or not. I reckon he might have got away with one here, Jordan De Goey.
Well, I reckon you've got away with cutting up these highlights, mate, because Collingwood is just dominating Port Adelaide.
I haven't cut him up. Anyway, De Goey, 5 metres out from the goal square. Strolls in, pops it over the goal umpire's head and extends Collingwood's lead.
Too easy for Collingwood at the moment. Takes him out to 32 points. Port Adelaide staring down the barrel of a loss here halfway through the final term at the MCG. And Collingwood just being the better team at the moment. Jasper Pittard not far away enough. gets tackled, and then it's just too easy. Side bottom, kicking it inside, and Dugowie, who's had an outstanding season, takes the contested mark with one arm, and then goal.
They'll pay that. Look, Port's ball use is really worrying. That's 3 or 4 times now that they've been called for play on, not kicking it far enough, and that just comes from lack of options down the ground. Forwards need to work a bit harder. They need to get into a bit more space and just use the footy a bit better. They've got run, like Motlop can run. They need to start breaking some lines and take the game on a little bit. Otherwise, it's going to get away. 4
of the last 5 goals to Collingwood. Ryder gets the first tap out that he's got this quarter as well. Rocklift to Motlop, who just bangs it inside 50. But again, Collingwood players everywhere. Aish, handballs it back, it looks like, to Crisp once again. And then who's that old
Phillips.
mate? Oh, Phillips gets it. But Sam Gray has a chance for Port Adelaide to score here. Still inside 50, but Collingwood players absolutely everywhere. Chad Wingard gives the block. Lean slips over, and we'll have a ball up here with a man on man on man on man on man. Far out Port Adelaide are very frustrating right now.
Well, that was better out of the centre by Port. They had a bit of run and a bit of dash. Motlop was there involved, like I said earlier. He needs to start moving and start getting his legs pumping. Nathan Buckley looking in pretty relaxed mode at the moment. So Grundy gets it down to Phillips, can't take the ball. Westhoff, quick kick around the corner, is going to bounce and roll out of bounds 50 metres out from Port Adelaide goal.
One of the things I've noticed is Port Adelaide being really sloppy with their possession, Collingwood being direct, and that's why they're putting score on the board in this final quarter. 12 minutes remaining, throw in inside 50 for Port Adelaide. They need a goal, they need to score, otherwise it is game over. Call the game off, get on the plane and go home. It looks like Grundy pushed in the back there, it didn't get called, so he's just palmed it out, and another throw-in.
Yeah, Port.
It looks like it's a free kick.
It's a free kick, is it? Have they paid one? I wouldn't know because we can't see. Get the camera off Bucks. We've seen him enough. We've got a casualty in the box here.
Oh, okay.
Ball in. 50 out from Port Adelaide goal. Grundy down to Pendlebury, way too easy. Pendlebury to Aish. Aish clearing 50 kick towards the centre of the ground. Westhoff's there, can't mark. Forced on. Hoskin Elliott onto it for Collingwood. Houston there as well. He can't go there. He gets tackled by Hoskin Elliott. Oh, Pittard not happy. Wants to push in the back, but we're going to have a ball up.
No, Pittard hasn't had a great last quarter. It does look like we are going to have a ball up here. Right in the centre, Collingwood leading by 32 points. 11 minutes remaining in the MCG. Port Adelaide need goals, and they need them quickly. Grundy, once again, he's been outstanding. Quick handball from Gray to Rockcliffe, who can't stand up. Tackled by side bottom. We'll have another ball up in the middle.
Grundy has been a real thorn in the Port side in this last quarter. I don't think he's lost a ruck tap yet. So they need Ryder. They need him jumping into him. Bit of presence. Yeah, Rockcliffe, just a fumble there, just cost him, didn't it?
They need that confidence. Collingwood are too clean at the moment as well. Again, players everywhere. Side bottom once again to Main. Here we go. That was I think that was Riley Boner. Gets it to Jack Watts, who gets the ball. Chad Wingard tackle, breaks the tackle, hand passes back. Collingwood players everywhere once again. Jack Watts doing his best to get the ball. Finally, he's done it. Passes back to Wingard, but the tackling pressure from Collingwood, absolutely outstanding. They end up with the ball once again.
Oxley to Maynard, Maynard to Phillips. Phillips runs down the wing, pumps it inside 50, looking for go. He can't mark. Chop of the arms, no call. Play on. Hoskin Elliott there. Can't pick it up. He's got Pittard right on his side. Kick out of defensive 50 there. Asking for deliberate, Travis Farco. And are they going to get it? They are. That is an interesting call.
This is the biggest one-sided quarter I've ever watched in a game, in a first game of commentary.
Maynard gets the footy, plays under Phillips. Phillips pumps it inside 50 again. Who's there? Grundy. No, can't mark. Myercheck Roves. Handballs off Stevenson. Quick snap. Has he kicked a goal? No, he hasn't. It's a point.
Well, that's the first letdown Collingwood's had this quarter. Pittard here, let's see if he can clear it from the inside 50. Last time he tried this turnover, Collingwood goal is kicked to himself again. This time he's gone longer off the left foot. Outside 50, Ryder attempted to do it. Side bottom once again into Aish, who puts it back inside 50 for Collingwood. Players up for a mark. Falls to the ground. Stevenson goal.
Stevenson read that like an absolute book.
Which is weird for a Collingwood supporter because usually they do have reading issues.
Yeah, don't mind that. Hey, it's not hard footy. It's kick it to a contest, create a contest, front and square, and finish your work. I think Port, it's wet weather footy. Port are just mucking around with these short kicks, trying to pinpoint targets, and Collingwood just doing the basics well, just doing the basics right. And it's they've kicked 4 goals this quarter now to none.
It looks like Collingwood are playing AFL and Port Adelaide are playing AFL live at the moment. Let's be honest, because they are just holding down that kick button and trying to get it off the ground and handball quickly. But Collingwood want this more. They now lead by 39 points. Myercheck with 2 goals, 2. DeGoey 2 goals, 2. Stevenson, Phillips with 2 each as well. And Big Cox just with the 1 goal. Ball up in the middle, halfway through this final term. I think I'm going to burp. Go, Matty.
Grundy wins another one down to Sire. Smothered by Westhoff when Pat converges. It comes out to Grundy. Grundy flicks it off to Chris. Chris had a great last quarter. Smothered. Rockcliffe gathers the loose ball, kicks it inside 50 for Port Adelaide. Ebert's there, gathers on the bounce, handballs off to Boak. Boak breaks one tackle, hands off to Robbie Gray. Robbie Gray's absolutely unloaded.
3 players onto him as well. There's going to be a ball up, and they are having a crack. And he looks like he's hurt his left knee at the moment. He's staying down at the moment. He's in a bit of pain.
I reckon Greenwood's big corky right on the knee. Greenwood's he's got a...
Let's have a look now.
Here we go. Greenwood runs into him. Bang.
Oh, you're right.
Big corky. Yeah, that's going to sting. At least it's not structural. Anyway, ball comes out. Langdon takes an uncontested mark, 30 out from Port goal, and he's just going to settle it down.
Collingwood really in the clear at the moment. Gray looks a little bit ginger, but he's going to stay on because that's a warrior that he is. Langdon kicks out towards the boundary side, and
Cox.
An easy uncontested mark from Mason Cox once again. Too easy for Collingwood. The game's being played on their terms at the moment. Cox kicks it long. Grundy with the chase. Other players as well, including Dan Houston, who picks it up.
That's
Travis
deliberate.
Varco.
That's deliberate.
Oh, man.
Yep, and they've paid it. You got to do a little bit better than that, Dan. You can't just look at the ball and smack it out of bounds like that. Anyway, Collingwood are going to go inside 50 again. Grundy takes a big mark, 35 metres out from goal. And he's going to go back and have a shot to put Collingwood even further in front.
Okay, look, I don't think Port Adelaide have even scored this quarter. And you are such a dog.
There weren't a lot of other games to choose from.
Nah, it's good, mate. Just get the smash. You can call this goal, you prick.
So Grundy's had a monster game, 39 hit-outs, 22 possessions going at his first goal. He's an All-Australian ruckman. Probably with Gawn, I reckon, in the top 2 at this stage. Lines it up, comes in, and absolutely splits the centre.
Oh, too easy. He's had a fantastic last quarter as well, Brodie Grundy. So deserves that goal. The players get around him. Collingwood now have gone out to, 45?
45 points the margin here. They've kicked the last 5, the players.
Too easy for them, and Port Adelaide are allowing them to get these scores as well, making silly decisions. The second deliberate out of bounds this quarter as well. Kicking out from fullback. Port Adelaide
just fundamental stuff really costing Port Adelaide here at the moment. And, you kick long to Grundy and he's got a one-on-one with someone that's half his size. He's not going to lose many of those.
Same as Mason Cox. There's just too many uncontested marks. He's done the soccer celebration. Who's that? Dybala?
Yeah, one of them.
Yeah, well, don't say one of them. All right, so the ball's thrown up in the middle. Collingwood really want to get this win as well because they want to go up to second on the ladder if they get a big percentage booster.
Cox to Adams, kicks inside 50, looking for side bottom. He can't mark. He's manhandled by Jonas. Myercheck's there, can't gather. Burn-Jones comes in, creates a bit of a contest. Varco's sniffing around as well. What's that? What sort of handball? Darcy Burn-Jones. A bit of a hammer action.
Yeah, it was a bit weird. We probably don't want to see that in slow motion if you look directly into our eyes.
You can't see the ball. That looks pretty ordinary.
No, okay, so ball up. Collingwood's inside 50 once again, looking to score. Cox gets the tap out. Ollie Wines, haven't seen much of him this quarter, manages to get a handball out, but straight away he is tackled. I think that's Riley Bonner. He is tackled. His name's actually Riley Bonner, but funny story, at the Port Adelaide night a couple of years ago, my co-host Rosie introduced him as Riley Bonner, which is very awkward. Riley Bonner's number 26.
Right. Cox gets another
Don't
tap
go
now.
from Bonner to Cox.
Phillips inside 50. Myercheck there, gathers on the bounce, can't grab it. Big kick out of defence there by Port Adelaide going towards centre half back. Aish goes back with courage, can't mark. Chris front and centre. He's absolutely beset upon by Ebert, and we'll have a ball up half back flank for Port Adelaide.
Well, I said about 15 minutes ago Port Adelaide need to score, and they haven't since. So, I don't want to really say it again, but Port Adelaide need to score. Ball thrown up. It's Ryder taking on Cox. Again, another win in the ruck to Collingwood. But finally, Port Adelaide get the ball. No, I'm wrong. Collingwood get it back again.
Polex there, breaks a couple of tackles. Pendlebury can't hold on. Hons to Rockcliffe. Rockcliffe goes back to him. Chopped off by Sire. Sire kicks straight up in the air. Stand under that one. Hoskin Elliott. Oh my God, he nearly took a mark. Varco front and centre, can't take it. Players converge. We're going to have nope. Side bottom gets it out. Who's that? Darcy Burn-Jones, and he's kicked it out of bounds on the full. Bit of a hack kick forward, trying to get out of defence. Good pressure by Varco, of course.
Looks like he's having a crack at Travis Varco when Darcy Burn-Jones has actually kicked it out on the full.
There's not a lot you can say there, is there?
No, it's a really difficult time for Port Adelaide at the moment. They're having a crack at one another. Maine, who has a plasticine face, let's be honest, he goes in, he's going to have a crack, the former Docker, and he goes inside 50, looking again for Cox, who doesn't get it. They love that short kick, don't they?
That's better by Port. They've stuck Ryder in the hole there, and he's created a contest against Cox. But a quick hack kick forward by Port's marked by Aish, centre wing member's side. He's going to go inside to Ben Madgen. Madgen marks right on the logo. He's going to go inside to Crisp. Crisp been huge this last quarter. He's going to play on. He's going to dump a long one inside 50, looking for Myercheck. Punched away by the Port player. Side bottom there. Houston comes in, makes a strong contest. Tackled by Thomas, and we're going to have a ball up 40 out from Collingwood goal right in front.
6.5 to go. Final quarter. Collingwood 103. Port Adelaide 58. It is the Pies absolutely dominating the power at the moment. Ball's thrown up. Collingwood looking for another goal to increase this percentage. Main gets the handball out. Finally, Port Adelaide get a touch from Boak to Polak. Polak dances around a few players. Ryder clears it out. Handballs everywhere. Finally, Darcy Byrne-Jones gets a kick. Port Adelaide take a mark.
They're out. They
get to take a breather in the centre wing at the MCG, and finally they get a look. Kane Farrell off the left boot, chip kick, and Port Adelaide once again through. Polak will go forward.
It looks like Robbie Gray's deep. It looks like he's recovered. Polak goes inside to Pittard. Pittard's going to pump a long one inside 50, looking for and not finding Robbie Gray. Punched away. Pendlebury front and square, hands off to Phillips, and Collingwood are going to clear. Phillips goes to centre half back and he finds Myercheck on the lead, takes the mark.
Weird looking unit, Myercheck,
he's
isn't
interesting. He's got a real weird setup.
Like no shoulders.
No shoulders. Phillips is going to run off half back and hits Hoskin Elliott at half forward. Oh, that's nearly a 50, I reckon. Anyway, Hoskin Elliott plays on. Actually, it is 50. No, it's not. Plays on. Hoskin Elliott. He's going to have a bounce here, and he does. Kicks a short one. Looking for Myercheck, the weird-looking bloke. Kicks it inside 50. Oh, get under that one. And Chris Mayne's going to take a mark, and he does. No, he doesn't. Yes, he does. It's paid.
What a surprise. Collingwood mark inside 50, having a crack at goal.
Just for something different this quarter. Oh, dear. No, we'll have to go through the archives and see if we can find a little bit closer game than this one.
No, that's okay, mate. This is us getting practice. Here we go. Chris Mayne. When you look at his face, it is a bit plasticine. Now, I'm no oil painting because I'm bald and I've got a grey beard. But you have a look. It looks like, he's done the big deep breathing. It looks like his nose has been broken a fair bit.
Yeah. He's got an unbelievable Mayne on him. Pardon for
it's his surname.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep, all right.
Anyway, Mayne 40 metres out, slight angle, leans back, and absolutely splits the centre. Another one to the Pies.
Oh, wow. It's getting really ugly for Port Adelaide now. 51 points the margin here at the MCG. 51 points. It was 13 at three-quarter time, and I thought Port were a chance. Obviously, my memory's really bad because they are getting absolutely pumped.
But you'd like to think with a spot in the 8 on the line that they would have given a little bit more than this.
Yeah, it looks like they've given up, let's be honest. There's only a couple of minutes to go as well. And Collingwood missing a fair few players, the television suggests.
Absolutely. Treloar, Moore, Goldsack, Howe, Reid and Elliott all missing.
Anthony Rocker.
Bucks isn't playing. He's in the coach's box.
Andrew Leoncelli.
Andrew Jukovic.
Leoncelli played for Melbourne. but he's still missing from the Collingwood lineup.
Bucks never looks happy, does he? Look at that time in forward half in the fourth quarter, 70% to the Pies.
I sense a Port Adelaide goal coming, Matty. Let's find out what happens. Ebert goes for a fresh area and he misses everything. So Crisp gets it. Westhoff. Port Adelaide have got the ball at the moment. Ollie Wines gets a handball out to Dan Houston, who kicks it the wrong way.
Hey, I'll tell you what, there was about 8 possessions there for about 4 metres gained by Port. That's the style of play they're playing at the moment. Anyway, Thomas finds, who's that? Oxley down the line. Oxley takes a mark, half forward flank for the Pies. He's going to pump another one, long one inside 50, you would assume here, just to pile on the pressure. There he goes. He does. He's going to look for Big Cox, who's going to fall short. It's well taken by Jonas on the half volley. Gets a handball out to Wines. Wines back to Jonas. Jonas keeps it in. Short kick chopped off by Oxley. Oxley's going to kick another one inside 50.
2 on 1.
Adams. Hoskin Elliott there. Can't mark. Punched away. Hoskin Elliott can't quite grab the footy. Houston's there. Hoskin Elliott gets it now. That's great persistence to Greenwood. Greenwood gets it over to Grundy. Grundy with a handball over to, it's intercepted by Ryder. Ryder gets it to Jonas and Jonas clears the 50.
They're going to take a bit of a breather now, Port Adelaide, through Jack Watts, who gets the ball. Looking for players, though. Not many around. Finally, there was a chance for a mark. That was Motlop. He missed it. He eventually gets up to clean his own scraps, but who does he kick to? 2 Collingwood players again. It's 3 on 1. They have so much time as Ashaw is at Langdon. Bombs back inside 50 for Collingwood. And again, Port Adelaide finally get the ball back through Wines, who kicks it. Trying to take a breather is Travis Boak, who slows it down, has a look and goes, you know what, there's 3 minutes left and maybe we should do something.
Anyway, instead of going long, he handballs wide to Homps. Homps is going to come inside on his left foot, little chip kick. Finds, is that Sam Gray? I think it is. No, it's not. It's Rockcliffe. Rockcliffe's going to go backwards. Guys, you need to be going forward here. Anyway, Houston marks the footy on the defensive 50 for the Pies. It's not Houston, is it?
Yeah, that's Houston.
It's Houston. Yes, it is. Anyway, short kick, short to a 50-50. Geez, they got away with one there. Watts has paid the mark, questionably, in front of Greenwood on the halfback flank for Port Adelaide.
Port Adelaide free kick. Jack Watts had a pretty up and down season, a lot of injury-plagued dramas as well. as he goes across the ground, or he looks across the ground, then finally kicks up again. Contested mark.
Oh, they've lost all shape here. They're absolutely shot with confidence here. Side bottom gathers. He's going to take on Honch, I think that is. He kicks a little one inside 50, and he's turned it over. He's done a Port Adelaide side bottom.
Yeah, he's
short
had
kick and turned it over.
Drank out of the wrong Gatorade bottle. He was drinking Port Adelaide's, and now Leonard has the ball. Port Adelaide have to do something just to appease their fans as well, with 2.5 minutes to go. Travis Boak takes the mark. That's Brad Ebert slows down, goes off the right. They need to start talking to one another. They are still in Collingwood's forward half of the ground, and they are not getting it out anytime soon, as they are just short chipping around. Someone needs to have a long bomb, and it's Travis Boak who kicks it into the centre circle, and there's another mark to Collingwood.
Phillips handballs off to Scott Pendlebury, kicks inside. Look at that. Collingwood players absolutely everywhere. Adams from 50 going to have a shot at goal, and guess what? Josh Thomas has taken a mark in the goal square, plays on and kicks another one.
You think about the amount of goals that Collingwood have scored from Port Adelaide turnovers, it is becoming the E word, and that is not excellent. It is embarrassing.
That is embarrassing, and it was just there. It was so polarising. Like, you look at Port go for that little short kick inside 50, turn it over, Pendlebury gets possession of the footy, uses it much better, breaks open the play. Adams kicks inside 50, and, well, Josh Thomas was standing in the goal square having a cup of tea, basically.
It's the pressure that Collingwood's applying as well, but it's just being made to look too easy as Collingwood score another goal, and this lead is just an absolute blowout at the moment. Port Adelaide have stopped. They have not moved since three-quarter time, and Collingwood just keep on marching towards the finals.
Well, they haven't scored, I don't think.
Yeah, thanks for pointing that out, mate. I know that because I'm commentating these highlights with you, dick.
No, I apologise.
All right, ball's thrown up. Can Ryder finally do something? Gets the tap. Ollie Wines smothered as he tries to get it inside 50. Collingwood ball once again. What a surprise. Scott Pendlebury with the ball.
Oh, Hoskinelli, beautifully trapped. Gives it the side bottom to Grundy. Grundy goes in short, finds Levi Greenwood. Greenwood on the right, goes inside 50 looking for Taylor Adams, can't find him. Cox is there playing the role of a rover. Picked up by Jonas. Jonas is tackled by Adams straight away, and I reckon we'll have a ball up here. Greenwood comes in, and yes, we do. We have a ball up. 10-15 metres out in the pocket for Collingwood down the city end of the MCG on this very cold and wet day. Yeah,
it is very cold. I'm really glad I came to this game for the last quarter, because as a Port supporter it's been very disappointing. Westhoff against Grundy. Westhoff gets the tap out. Pendlebury on the ground. Wingard picks it up. I reckon that's his second touch for the quarter, and he kicks it up to, well, surprise, surprise, two Collingwood players again, and this time they make probably their first mistake of the last quarter, and it goes out inside 50, about 45 metres out.
And Pendlebury looks like he's pushed deep forward to try and finish off this last quarter, maybe try and get the skipper a bit of a goal. They just need to set up a bit better, Port Adelaide. Like, they get the ball and there's no real structure. They don't know where they're going. They look a bit confused, and then that's forcing them to go short to 50-50 contests.
1 minute on the clock to put Port Adelaide out of their misery after this horrible last quarter. Ball falls down to Crisp. Tackle. Ollie Wines gets it out to Boak. Fumble, side bottom. He's pretty clean, and then handballs over to Greenwood. Westhoff picks it up, tries to get it out of Collingwood's forward 50. Struggles once again because there's Collingwood players everywhere. Black and white jumpers, and it's not the prison bars, Matty.
No, it's not the prison bars. Anyway, it's come back out to Mycheck. Mycheck goes in short to centre forward to Main. Main plays on to Josh Thomas. Josh Thomas has a flying shot at goal, and it's marked on the line by Westhoff.
Westhoff's been up and about this last quarter. One of the shining lights for Port Adelaide. Short kick to Dougal Howard. It's probably only the second or third time we've called his name as well. And Port Adelaide are chipping it round like they're 10 goals up, not 10 goals down. They need to do something to keep their fans happy. And again, horrific kick from Dougal Howard. Ball goes out, throw in, 30 seconds left. Blow the siren, please.
Blow the siren. There's got to be a mercy rule. Maybe that's one thing that AFL could bring in. Get to 10 goals down with 5 minutes to go, and they just blow the siren. But then there's a percentage issue there, isn't there? Anyway,
yeah, I mean, you've just disagreed with your own.
Yeah, I know I have. I didn't really
good.
think that through. Anyway, throw in half forward flank for Collingwood. Grundy gets it down. Mycheck smothered by his own Collingwood teammate there. Greenwood goes in hard, spills to Robbie Gray. Robbie Gray flicks a handball inside, looking for Wingard. Wingard pumps a long ball inside 50, but there's no one there. Absolutely.
This could be a Port Adelaide goal. Ryder's trying to clean him up. Jack
Here
Watts, handball, runs in, player free.
Sammy Gray, kick a goal. With 4 seconds to go, Port Adelaide have kicked their first goal, and that might be it, or are we going to have 1 second left? They're going to go bounce the ball, and then that's going to be it. But, yeah, look, and there's no magic in that. Port Adelaide just got the ball going long. 50-50 contest, no short footy, and look at that, spilt forward and they kicked a goal.
Well, I think the whole highlight is that you've made me wait until the last 3 seconds of the game for Port Adelaide to do something good, and it was worth it. I'm really happy about it.
Hey, look at the positives. The next time we do this, it's probably going to be a live game. So
yeah, true.
we might be able to.
We can't predict anything.
We can't predict anything.
Yeah.
No, that's right. So,
is that it? Blow the fucking siren.
Anyway, there wouldn't even be a second left. I don't know why they just didn't blow it after that goal. But the final score here is going to be 17-13, 115 to Collingwood to 10-4-64 to Port Adelaide. And there is the siren, and it's all over. Collingwood establishing themselves in the top 4 position. And Port Adelaide, you can, they're not good enough to be in the 8, I don't think, off the back of that.
All right, well, good luck in the grand final, mate. See how that works out.
That's a really good
That was fun, Matty.
That was good, mate. Thanks for listening, guys, and we'll see you next episode on Best Team Men.
Are you a podcaster? Maybe you've got that big idea and you're looking for a network to join. The multi-award winning Ozcast Network can get your content to eyes and ears all over the world. Join now for the first month free, and you could be featuring this sound at the beginning of your podcast.
Ozcast.
Simply head to ozcastnetwork.com for details.